Hello, Calico Clan. This is Hans Tanner, your former leader, and today I was just curious to see if there's a way, if I could figure out how to record some of my war attacks before the replays were no longer available. And sure enough, with a little internet search, found that there is a way you can do it. Actually, there's several ways you can do it, including jailbreaking your device, but that was not an option that was intriguing to me at all, because I don't care to do that. But I found an option that I think will work for me, and I can tell you guys what that is if you're interested. But what I'm doing now is just talking through my two attacks from my last war, and so each video will cover one of the attacks, and you guys can watch them if you want to for learning purposes, or you can completely disregard them, and I'll just have fun making them myself. But anyhow, first, I just want to stress that the game really ought to be enjoyed in whatever way you find it most enjoyable. So if that is just playing it leisurely and whatever happens, happens, hey, that's great. If it's to build up a base that looks aesthetically pleasing to you, then that's great as well. Or if you're like me, if it's to see if you can continue to improve and get better and find an art form in doing attacks, well then that's great as well. And that's currently where the game is at for me. I'm enjoying to challenge myself and see if I can get better at attacks and figure out pathing. That word pathing really referring to the way in which your troops will travel through a base and making them do so in a way that is predictable in order to increase the chances of your attack having a good outcome. So I want to talk a little bit about this attack now, my first attack in our last war, and point out some of the things I did well, some of the things I didn't do so well, and yeah, and you guys can enjoy it for what it's worth to you personally. Yep, so let's look at the base real quick first, and I will talk to you a little bit about my strategy before showing the attack. So this is the diagram of my attack that I came up with that kind of detailed for me the order in which I wanted to drop the troops and where I wanted to drop them, and also spell placement. And I realize how it could just look like a jumble of lines and a colored mess to you. So rather than trying to explain the whole jumbled mess, I thought I'd just kind of quickly walk you through it step by step. So first off, I'm just going to go around the base marking with black X's where I think giant bombs or Teslas might be, because while this is especially relevant with a hog attack, it can also be relevant with an air attack, because you want to know where the Teslas are at, because that can influence the pathing of your balloons. Once I've done that, I need to decide what my kill squad is responsible for, because in any attack, once you get to kind of Town Hall 9 and above, you have to normally supplement the main part of your attack with a pre-attack of sorts that is responsible for taking out a certain portion of the base to prep for the main part of your attack. So in my case, using primarily an air attack using balloons and lava hounds, I need to make sure that in my pre-attack I'm taking out at least one of the air defenses, and in this case, since I have two clumped close together, I want to take out both, and the air sweeper, and the Archer Queen, and the Clanton Castle troops. And it's essential that I take out each of those things, because those are all things that, if left up, could ruin the main part of my attack. Once my golems are down, I want to back them up with wizards here, 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 and here. And I'm going to save a couple for later. And so once the wizards are down and have taken out the trash building, then it's time to send in the wall breakers. And I'm going to send them in after the wizards have taken out some of the other stuff to make sure they go to the right spot, which is I want them to open up this spot right there, where my heroes are going to go in. Now it's time for my heroes, so I drop my queen first because she stays a ways from things while she targets them, and then my Witch and Barbarian King, and they're all going to push in towards that opening since all the stuff around it has been cleared and destroyed by those wizards. So I've ensured that they're not going to target stuff that I don't want them to target. Once they're in that cavity, I'm going to drop a rage spell on top of them to increase their damage per second that they're pouring out on all those buildings so they can get through them quickly. On top of that, now I've activated the clan castle troops, so I'm going to drop my poison spell to weaken them as my heroes target them as well. And then eventually I'll get my jump spell down, and I don't want to do this too early because it has a short amount of time in which it's active, only 20 seconds. But I want to drop it at the right time so my heroes can get into the core and take out that Archer Queen and those air defenses and air sweeper. Once I've done that, it's time to begin the main part of my attack with the Lava Hounds and the balloons. So I start my Lava Hound as far away from the air defense as I think is reasonable because I want it to soak up all the bombs as it travels to the air defense. And then I back it up with 2 balloons on each point defense on those archer towers and that cannon. And getting the timing down can be kind of tricky to know, well, do I just drop both hounds first, or a hound and some balloons and then another hound and some balloons? And so far that's what I'm leaning towards, is you want to back each hound up with balloons pretty much right away, because you want those balloons to be traveling in and making it to the air defenses as quickly as possible so that the hound doesn't pop too soon, leaving your balloons vulnerable. Once my hounds and balloons were down, I wanted to make sure that I would drop my haste spells pretty quickly so that everything can push in towards the center and take out those air defenses. And when you watch the video, you'll see that they definitely weren't perfectly placed, and I've got some improvement to do in that regard, making sure that those spells are used to their max potential. But in the end, everything worked out, and saving those 2 balloons up at the top for the air sweeper and that archer tower in the top corner ended up being a very good idea, because I believe those are the only ones that were left alive. Or actually, I had 2 balloons left alive, whether it was those 2 specifically. I think it was 1 and then 1 from maybe the center. But anyhow, you always want to make sure you save a couple troops and don't anticipate that everything that you drop at the beginning is going to survive till the end of the attack. And then after that, the pups just did their cleanup. I saved a couple wizards to help with cleanup too, which was also, a good decision. And you always want to do that when you can, because you never really know how long cleanup's going to take. So yeah, let's just watch the replay now, and we'll see if I can provide some good commentary. So down goes the first golem on the top, also drawing the fire of the mortar. Then goes the one on the bottom. I drop my wizards, making sure that I create a nice funnel for my heroes. Again, all of this just to make sure they do not go traveling around the side. Once all the trash is taken out and the heroes have been dropped, drop the wall breakers. I actually probably should have dropped the wall breakers first, but in they go. Everything works out okay. The golems start to peel around and come inside now that they have an opening. I drop the rage spell, increase the DPS, and rage my king, and the queen locks on to the clan castle troops. She's taking them out. The king takes out the archer queen. He's taking out one of the air defenses. I use my queen's ability, and actually I get something out of her that I didn't anticipate, and that was the town hall. The town hall was kind of an added bonus. I never really hoped to get it. But anyhow, once that key stuff was down, I started this main portion of my attack. Hound goes down, back it up with the balloons on each point defense, scatter the haste spells. Again, the They probably could have been placed a little better, so my balloons made it in a little quicker. As it was, I did not end the attack with very many balloons left, which was a little scary because I wasn't sure if I'd finish cleanup in time, but it all ended out working okay. And especially happy, just especially happy that I had those pups for cleanup because they're spread out pretty well. There's some in the middle there taking out the clan castle, some on the side, some on the bottom, and then between the balloons and my wizards, they're all able to finish it up okay. Which just goes to show that leaving some troops is key. Thanks for watching, you guys. This was very much so an experiment for me, and it actually took a lot longer to put together than I thought it would, and I realized that it's not a very short video, so if you don't want to watch it just because of its length, I will not blame you. But yeah, so if I'm the only one who watches this in the end, that's a-okay, and I'll have enjoyed the learning experience. So, clash on, Calico Clan, and I'll see you out there.